What is your greatest fear? My name is Emily Hart, and I live in Kent, a small town near London. I work as a psychologist in a local clinic, and every day I help people deal with their fears, anxieties, and traumas. But there is one thing I have never told anyone, not even my patients. My greatest fear is the dark, not just the absence of light, but a deep, piercing darkness that entered my life when I was 12 years old. That February evening, I was left to help my parents clean up. After a holiday party at our club in Kent, my parents were busy, and I was given the task of taking the trash out to the back room. I grabbed my flashlight, but it suddenly went out. In the pitch darkness, I felt something wrong. It was as if the air had become heavier, and the darkness had taken on some physical form. I stood there, unable to move, feeling the cold seep into my bones, and then I heard a whisper, not from outside, but in my head. "You are alone, you will always be alone." I ran away, but those words stayed with me. From that day on, I feared the dark more than anything else. I always kept the light on in my room. Even during the day, I avoided any dark places. 1. I became a psychologist. I learned to help others deal with their fears, but I couldn't overcome my own. I pretended that it was normal, that everyone had their weaknesses. But this fear affected my life. I avoided romantic relationships because I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to be with someone in the dark. One day, a patient came to me, an elderly woman from Brighton who suffered from phobias related to the dark. She told me about her nightmares, about the feeling that she was being watched in the dark. Her words were so familiar. Working with her, I realized that my fear wasn't just a childhood trauma. Something in that darkness was real. And that realization was the scariest thing of all, to admit that my fear might be justified. Now, as I write this, the room is dark, and I feel the same way, but this time I'm ready to fight. Because the greatest fear is not what we fear, but how we let fear control our lives. Maybe it's time to face the darkness head on, but this time I won't be alone. I have myself, my learning, and the knowledge that even the darkest night ends with dawn.